Despite their tumultuous history, Creed is undoubtedly one of the most successful rock bands in the history of the entire genre, statistically speaking. Of course, there are a lot of people who are critical of the band, but the sales figures don't lie, the numbers don't lie. This band is still to this day a global force, but unfortunately the band is somewhat fragmented. They have been inactive for a number of years, largely due in part to some substance abuse issues that Scott Stapp, the singer of Creed at that time, previously had. Now, since then, he's been walking with sobriety and he's been doing much better, and he's got a solo record coming out, and so he is doing well. He's got some shows coming up as well, and right now he's in the midst of a press run to promote his as yet untitled upcoming solo release. The release date also hasn't been announced, but he was asked by a reporter down in South America about whether or not Creed would be reforming, and his response was quite interesting. He basically says, "Never say never," and leaves the future open to interpretation. He also says the guys in the band are still friends to this day. Here's what Scott Stapp had to say in response to that question.
Is there a chance that the fans in the future can see all members of Creed together?
Oh, there's always a chance. Never say never to that. We talk and we're friends, and so we'll see what happens in the future.
Now, here's the interesting thing about Creed. Creed still has a very sizable fan base, and what that means is that the chances of Creed getting back together are still to this day quite likely. This band got back together last in 2009 to release their album Full Circle and go on tour, and then after that, unfortunately, Scott fell into some issues with substance abuse. And as Scott mentioned, he said those guys still talk and they're still really good friends, and the demand is there from Creed fans. There are a lot of people who would show up to see this band live on some sort of a reunion tour. We've talked about this band's history in a mini documentary we produced. You can check out that video up in the annotation on your screen right now, but here's the thing. Creed is a band that has something still to offer in the rock world to millions of people around the world, and there are certainly a lot of people who want to see that happen. There are a lot of naysayers out there, but those naysayers are not outnumbering the millions and millions of fans that do like this band, that do want to see them live. And so let us know what you think about this in the comments. Would you show out for a Creed reunion? Would you want this band to continue? Would you want to hear new music from this band? You know, the likelihood is that this is just a matter of time. This is going to happen at some point. There's too much money on the table for these guys to just leave that there and not come out and indulge in the possibilities of this band. Every interview that any of these guys do, they're asked about what's going on with Creed because of the sheer earth-shattering magnitude of this band. There is no way that Creed doesn't get back together at some point. And you can almost tell that Scott Stapp is hoping for that to happen, but he can't speak for the other guys. So, again, let us know what you think about this in the comments. If you're new here, you can subscribe to Rockfeed with notifications on so you don't miss out on breaking hard rock and heavy metal news. Thanks so much for joining us here today at Rockfeed. We'll keep an eye on breaking news for you, and we'll see you all very soon.